Party's annual conference have voted not to reopen the debate on the coalition's controversial changes to the NHS in England. Also at the conference, the Equalities Minister, Lynn Featherstone, said she was delighted to announce the government's plans to legalise same-sex marriages. The Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, has promised to block any move to abolish the 50p top rate of income tax. The Business Secretary, Vince Cable, said there would need to be another tax on the rich before the top rate was scrapped.
A good alternative, tax on very high value property, for example, that is something that could be considered. But the Treasury are having a look at what the 50p tax actually does, and on the light of that we'll decide what to do next.
In Libya, troops fighting for the new government have met strong resistance in 2 towns from the remnants of Colonel Gaddafi's forces. It's been reported that at one point, government forces were repelled and came under heavy rocket attack on the outskirts of Bani Walid. Investigations have begun at the colliery in the Swansea Valley where 4 miners died. Police and officials from the Health and Safety Executive have spent the day at the scene. An appeal fund has been launched to support the families of the men. The Greek government says it will press ahead with plans to impose a tough new property tax in spite of fierce opposition. Anyone who refuses to pay could have their electricity cut off. Trades unions have threatened to sabotage the plan. Detectives in Germany are trying to identify an English-speaking teenager who says he's been living wild in a forest outside Berlin for the past 5 years. The boy, who's now 17 and speaks only a few words of German, says he can't remember where his family came from. The Environment Agency has said parts of England are still officially classed as having drought conditions. This month's rainfall for central and eastern England had been about 30% of the long-term average for September. BBC News.
You're listening to BBC Radio 4, where in 15 minutes Tom Sutcliffe and his guests, the writer Miranda Sawyer, the critic John Mullen and the novelist Liz Jensen, review the week's cultural highlights, including Thomas Alfredson's film Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, an adaptation of the classic John le Carré Cold War thriller. Gary Oldman stars amongst a wealth of British acting talent as George Smiley, the retired spook who's tasked with uncovering a mole at the very heart of MI6, or the circus. Hear the verdict in Saturday Review at 7:15. Now, though, it's Profile. This week, the BBC's Home Affairs